5.
Do you remember
4,
your intro?
LionFish.
2.
Hey guys, I'm Mahima.
Hey.
This is Gabby, and welcome to the LionFish podcast.
Woo!
Episode 4?
Episode 5?
5?
It's one of those.
One of those
It's one of
episodes. I hope I haven't repeated any outfit, but
I don't think so.
No.
No. Especially since this is new.
yeah,
So you
and
can't repeat it, actually.
I mean, it's hot, it's summer, it's New
so
York heat. We're live
hot.
from New York.
Oh my God.
And
it's
we
so hot.
had to turn off our air conditioning for sound purposes. So know that the sacrifices that we're making to be in front of you at this point, this day,
I mean, it's okay. You guys are worth it.
you guys are worth it. But see the love in our hearts for you to be doing that.
For all of you very smart people who have had the opportunity to go to the beach, I am extremely jealous. So,
Really, I don't like beaches.
really? Why?
Is that going to cause a debate in a comment
It might.
section?
I don't know. We'll see.
I'm not a beach person.
What? Okay.
Like if you're not a beach person.
Okay, well, you can...
Or comment if you're not. I just
Comment
wonder,
if you're not
because like
a
the
beach
people,
person.
the opposite of that not liking is like unliking, and we don't really want unlikes in our video, but anyway.
But okay, so what I'm saying is I always find that interesting when people aren't beach people, because I am such a beach person, and I think it's also because like I always grew up on the coast. Like I grew up in Florida and Mississippi, and we always lived on the coast, so the beach was like, it's a way of life. So what don't you like about the beach?
I mean, it's hot.
Okay,
I'm from
but it's
India.
hot everywhere.
I know, I'm from India, and like beach, it gives me a massive headache whenever I come back home. Like
Are you drinking enough water while you're there?
I mean, there's so much water that I can drink, and then the water is like, I like to swim with like a swimming cap on, like under, because this hair, if it goes underwater, if it
geez.
comes back,
Yeah.
and I don't want to wear like a swimming cap with my
Why don't you braid your
fancy
hair?
Even with braiding hair, it just becomes like, my hair just becomes very, and it's like the after, like when I wash it after, and it just becomes so thick.
Yeah.
And I don't want to wear a swimming cap on the beach, because it doesn't go with the bathing suit, and bathing suit is such a fashion statement.
Yeah.
Like it has to be so it's more like I'm just going there to lie and bake in the sun, because I can't really enter the water till like for my legs, and that's just like it. And then the sand, and then the whole, and it's just, I think it's such an American thing. I mean,
Beach?
no,
No,
I'm talking
definitely
like
not an
let's go
American
to the
thing.
beach. Okay, I don't know. Actually, people in India will hate me for saying this. They have Goa, and Goa is like fucking amazing.
Because I was about to say, I not that I've ever been to Goa, but I do know that it has like a pretty rich like beach culture.
Yeah, but I mean, the food over there in Goa is much, much, much better. Like the beach food I've had here.
Not to mention, there are a lot of places in Europe that also are very beach
I've never
places.
been to Europe.
I've also been to those places.
I need a
like,
visa for every country in
Spain-
Europe I go to.
Okay,
So
well.
I don't know. Maybe that explains. I'm ignorant. Thanks, guys. Ignorance leads to hatred. So don't be ignorant.
Right. So the point is,
Beach.
beaches are wonderful. I get it if people don't like beaches. Sand can be an issue. My thing is, I'm so snooty about my beaches. That's my biggest problem.
Like you want to
because
go to the Hamptons.
No, it's because like beaches in the Northeast, and I'm sorry for all my Northeast people, is like they're not the best of beaches.
I don't know what I'm about, but okay, sure. You criticize.
Especially because I grew up in Florida, and Florida has some of the most beautiful beaches, where the sand feels like this wonderful powder and not this like weird icky mud. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the residue of the mud.
It's mud. It's like muddy, and I hate that feeling. Where in like Florida, a lot of beaches have this like really light, fluffy, powdery sand, and not only that, like the water is blue, and not like brown green.
What about the kids on beaches? That's a problem for me.
What? Why? You don't like kids?
I do. I
know you love kids.
I do love kids. It's just in the beach they become loud, and like they throw sand. They
Do they throw sand at you?
I mean, it's did come sort of like sprinkled towards my direction, and
True.
they're just too high on energy. I don't know. It's a big debate. It's what Gabby's trying to say is like, I hope you
The
guys
big
enjoy.
beach debate, guys.
Big beach debate. That's
Feel
the name.
free to get in on this.
I don't like it. I just no, it's not my thing.
Yeah.
And even wearing bathing suits is like such a comedy, especially for women. We have to wear like two
Yeah,
pieces,
I
one
feel that.
piece. Like you have to like shave places that you were like, oh, I don't even know my razor will go there.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, especially as being a woman of color with like body, and you can attest to it. Like it's, I don't know.
The hair is real.
The hair is real. They don't show that in movies. They don't talk about it.
It's a problem.
So thank you, Rihanna,
Well,
for
no, I'm not going to
out.
say that. It's
What?
not a problem. Hair is not a problem.
It's been made into a
It's
problem.
been made into a problem, which is annoying because, again, I grew up where, you know, bathing suits were kind of a status symbol, and I think they kind of are in a lot of places. When you go to the beach, like, you want to look really good.
Yeah.
But now you have to like go to every like crevice of your body to remove the hair.
So that the said bathing suit looks good.
Right, so that it looks
does
good.
not expose. Yeah, that's something that
That's annoying.
In India, people just like wear like a sari and just jump into the beach if they shit's just a fan. Like I would totally do that. But like here, it's such a thing, that bathing suit. Like once I wore like this one piece which had a little skirt in it, and there was this girl. She's like, "Oh, Mahima, you're so conservative." I was like. There's like so many things. I was like, A, are you saying that because I'm Indian? B, it's a bathing suit. Like, I did not know that in the hierarchy of bathing suits, there's like some that you can wear for.
Yeah, I think that
you know, the skirt ones, those cute ones?
Wait, do you mean like ones that have like the little skirts at the bottom that cover like your hips?
Yeah.
Or, like the little like skirts that just have like a little detail on the
it's like
side.
it's an attached thing. It's like you have the V and then there's like this little covering.
Oh,
and it was
okay,
cute.
okay,
Like
okay.
the top was cute, the color was good. It was like a sleeveless. It was like a tube thing, so it wasn't like really conservative, but it just had a skirt. And I was like, I mean, like, there's such a rule, like, you're supposed to wear. It's like, I'm like, sort of a fucking royal wedding that you're supposed to wear this. You can't show up.
I don't understand why it even matters. Like, it's a bathing suit. Who cares?
That's why I hate kids, because kids can wear whatever they want. No one judges them. Actually, no, kids do get judged.
Yeah, I was about to say, kids get judged. I definitely got judged growing up because my mother, like, didn't let me wear two pieces for a really long time on economy.
Beaches don't have AC, so I don't like beaches. I want an AC.
That's kind of the point.
Whatever.
It's kind of the point.
And I don't understand how this obsession with tanning. Like, that is that is a very American thing. Come on.
No.
There might be beaches all over the world, but
I wouldn't call it an American thing.
It doesn't happen in India. No one cares about it.
Okay, yes, sure. No, it doesn't happen in India. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Especially
no one's like, hey, Rajesh, let's go to the beach to get a tan.
Okay, well, when you already have a tan, you don't really need to go get a tan.
Exactly.
So
like, that's a business. Like all the tanning creams and like that's so new to me. Like I think my first introduction was in Friends when Ross got that tan.
Oh my god, that was horrible.
I was like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? Why is he doing that? Like, why? Just tell him to step into the sun. Like, what's going on? Anyway.
You know, it's like tanning. Obviously, that's something that I don't do because I don't need to.
No.
But it's... my personal feeling on it is do whatever you need to do to make yourself feel good. You know, I have friends who are very pale, who like being very pale, and I'm like, hey... Fuck yeah, you be pale, and that's okay, and that's fine, that's beautiful. And, you know, there's this, like, YouTuber that I really, really like who mentioned, you know, that people were giving her shit about this picture she posted that she was in a bathing suit, and they kept being like, oh, ew, you're so pale. And she rightfully was like, yeah, I'm fucking pale. It's okay. Yeah. Like I don't understand making fun of someone because they have pale skin. It's like the same thing of like I wouldn't make fun of someone for having dark skin. That makes no sense to me.
It's like just the obsession, the religiosity. Is that a word? Religiosity?
Sure.
I just made a word. I don't know. Yeah. We're inventing words.
I think
at LionFish podcast. We invent words. No, it's the way that it. Like, I remember being on this beach in, I think, California somewhere, where this lady kept on giving me this tanning lotion. I was like, look at me. I don't know, and it was just like, like it's part of the beach diet,
Yeah,
like you need
yeah.
to have it. And I'm like, it's what makes me angry. Not angry, is like I'm not allowed to question her offering me that whatever tanning thing.
Why can't you question her?
But I mean, but because like again, it's such a part of the beach diet that you're supposed to have this, that I'm not supposed to question. Like, why am I wearing one piece when it should be two piece? Like, it's like,
Right.
why are you?
Right.
But like when I question someone who's like, hey, why the fuck are you using fork and knife to eat Indian food? They're just like that's how we eat. Like, why?
Right.
You have no right to question. I have right to question. Like,
Right.
that's what makes me angry. But I don't think it's only to do with beaches. It's just like a universal thing of like.
I was about to say, I feel like this is a whole different thing that you're talking about.
It's just anyway. Okay, I'm sorry. I tend to connect things. I was like, remember
No,
that
no.
time when you were questioning me?
Yes, true. But I think that it's also like, but could totally see like what would have happened if you were like, hey, why are you giving me this? Honestly, it's surprising to me that she did give it to you. Like, I'm actually surprised. No one would give that to me.
I hate beaches. People have done weird things to me. Beaches.
Okay, I feel like we should talk to someone about that.
But weird things is just like I'm supposed to like it. Like it's hot.
You don't have to like it.
Yeah, it's like it's hot. How the fuck you're not liking the beach? I was like, I
mean,
like
the
ACs
point of the
heat.
beach is like not to be hot, but like to be cool. Like
Get
not
an
cool
AC.
as in cool, but cool as in like cool down, because
go to PC Richardson
you always
and buy
have
an AC.
you always have the breeze from the beach, like from the water. You get to go in the water, which is also cool.
Just go to a pool.
I mean, you could go to a pool too.
I don't mind a
That's
pool.
why people go to pools.
Pools are fine. Pools are great.
Do you know how to swim?
Of course I know how to swim. I think my dad was like, in India, whenever people, like we have all these religious rivers in which like part of a religious practice is like to take like a dip, and like 100 dips means like you've rid yourself of all the sins. And then after a point it just became a competition amongst us cousins, like how many people can stay underwater for like, but now so if we are doing this competition, it's kind of like mandatory that you know how to swim because you don't want to die.
That's
So I know how to swim.
Yeah. I knew how to swim. I mean, I know how to swim. Like I know how to swim. It's just like I'm definitely not as strong of a swimmer as I used to be.
So what do you do in the beach? Just put your feet in the water?
No, I go in the water.
Okay.
I mean, I absolutely go in the water. Some of our friend group like to make fun of the fact that I am not a strong swimmer, which I also don't understand.
It's again, do you, whatever. It's not
I don't get it.
I don't know how to drive. You don't know how to drive. It's fine.
I don't.
Judge us. I don't care.
She doesn't care.
I don't go around telling people like, oh, you don't know how to. What do you do to a plane? You don't drive it. You don't do. What do you do to pilot a plane?
Yeah.
English is not my first language.
You pilot a plane.
I don't even know how you'll say that in Hindi, so I don't even know whose side I'm on. How do you in Hindi?
I was like, how would you say it in Hindi?
Plane. I don't even know what plane is called in Hindi. Yatra? Yantra?
I don't know.
Any Indian audience watching this, kindly write down what you call Shariyantra? No, that means... yeah, I'll Google that while you
Okay,
talk.
you Google it.
Because I feel very embarrassed to be talking about being Indian and not know how to...
Okay.
Plane in Hindi.
Plane in Hindi.
I just hope it doesn't tell me like plane surf. Viman.
Okay, we got it. We're on top of things.
Pilot in Hindi. This is fun, Pilot in Hindi.
Okay, now she's just looking up random things in Hindi.
So I can form this into sentence.
Point being is I haven't been to the beach all summer and I really want to go.
Pilot in Hindi is pilot in Hindi, but spelled in Hindi. I don't know why I'm showing this in the mic.
I don't know either. Like the mic is going to show
Indian
the world.
audience, it's like pa, a matra, ya, la, and ta. Like literally, pilot is like pile.
So it's actually like phonetically spelled pilot. That's awesome.
Maybe Indians weren't pilots back in the day.
I mean, a pilot is like I think it's an American term.
So
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
So you just write it in Hindi. Like, I would write Gabi in Hindi, like G-A-B-E.
Yeah.
Gabi. It'll be Gabi.
I mean, that's That is how you.
There needs to be an episode and you
That's
in
what you call
India just being like, "Hi, I'm Gabby." Gabby? Sorry. No.
Although you do say my name like that sometimes.
I do.
You
Why?
do. I don't know.
Gabby. It's
I mean, I don't care. You say it however you like.
Dude, English is such a funny language.
It is a funny language. It's a
Did you see that meme about some guy trashing the word lingerie? He's like, I was reading in my classroom and the word lingerie came up and he said it out loud as is written, like lingerie. And everyone's like, oh, you're such a loser. And then he's like, I'm sorry. I'm not an idiot who just like reads words and creates his own sounds in the mind. Like I'm just like reading things and I just, say it out.
Again, I say, is lingerie an English word? I don't think it is.
So why is it? See,
Hold up. No, I'm gonna look.
No, it's not. It must be French. Oh, something.
I think it's French.
Anything with lingerie.
Lingerie.
It's such a fancy word for underwear.
I don't know
Undies,
French.
panties.
I hate that word.
So that's why you hate that word, and then
I
lingerie
do.
springs up.
Lingerie is fine for me.
No, it's not fine.
I
Why is it spelled as lingerie?
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
If there was no word like lingering already in existence, and I'll be like, okay, maybe
I apparently don't know how to spell it.
lingerie.
I mean, thank you.
L-I. It was something. It was one of my stories because, like, see, in Hindi, we saw this word pilot as it's written in English, and we used our script to convert that word suitable in Hindi script, like pilot. It's not like pilot is written as pulare or whatever. You know what I mean? Like we don't change the entire script. Like whatever it sounds,
Yes,
we write it down.
It is French.
It is French.
Yeah, which I thought it was.
Yeah, so they could have written as L-O. It's not as if you don't have L-A-U or like L-O lingerie. Like you
Okay, that's also another reason why English can be very difficult to pronounce sometimes because we don't just have English in the English language.
So they could use the words that sound closer to its mother original word, and as opposed to just being like, this sounds like an O, let me write it as an I.
Wait, what are you saying?
Like, you know how so many words are like pronounced differently as opposed to what is written? Like,
yeah. I mean, English is not a like sounded out kind of language. I mean, for some words, yes. Like cat. Sure. Cat, you can sound
what are you
out.
going to say? Cot? Cot.
I mean,
Cot.
But then no, that's wrong.
Cot. Cat.
In terms of vowel sounds, that would be wrong.
I'm just saying because English has become such a status symbol kind of a language, and when people are talking about pronunciations, and I'm like, okay, it's like, oh, do you know how to read and write in English? And you are like proud of yourself that you can read, and then because you know what this letter sounds like, and then you see a word and you associate a certain sound with it, and then they're like, no, that's not JK, that's not how it's pronounced. It's like pronounced like.
It's funny you say that because you say that English is kind of a status.
It is a very status thing. At least in India, it is.
Is it?
Yeah. They can tell you're from a good family or like a rich family. But not every family is good. I'm like from a rich family or an upper class is like how good your English is. And bonus points if you can do an American accent. Double bonus for British. No one cares about French accent because then they're like, oh, you sound so.
Which is funny because like French used to be the language of diplomacy.
Yeah.
Now it seems to be English. And then maybe it might.
My entrance into this country
later.
was primarily based on how good I was in English.
Well, this is also an English-speaking country.
But like not
like
good.
I feel like if you were going into Germany, they weren't going to be like, "Hey, how good is your English?"
That's true.
I
But
feel
like among Indians, also it's like a competition. It's like
that's a different story.
It's like so like I remember for a good part of my life, I would always call Chanel Channel because it's Chanel. How else? Like if there was no word like channel, like
That's also not an English
water
word.
channel. I know, but it's written like
that's
it's
also
like such
not
a
an
famous
English word.
brand. Like no one like just anyways. It's like all over this place, and it's like Chanel. And I would just say channel. All my friends would be like, "Oh, you're such a loser. You're calling a channel it's Chanel." I was like, "Oh, Janelle. Sorry, I did not know."
See, but what I'm hearing more is that you have a problem with being told about like how Western words are pronounced, not necessarily just English words, because both examples that you just used were in fact
other
French.
words. Let's say other words. I don't know.
There are so many words in the English, like in the English language, that are not pronounced the way that they're spelled.
So many. I mean, these were the only two examples that came to mind.
But
Because
they're both French.
Tell me another example of English words. There's so many that really pisses me off.
Ceiling.
Keeling. Yeah, so you can say
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ceiling.
What about anthropological?
Anthropological?
No, that you can pronounce right.
No, yeah, that's you can spell it.
No, but you can spell it, but like the way the emphasis is on, like, you know how it's not, I would say anthropological as opposed to pological, you know, it's.
But the British also pronounce things differently.
Britishers can do whatever they want to. No one questions them. Britishers, everyone loves the British accent.
What I've noticed though is that like
even Hindi sounds good in British accent.
Like I notice people who learn English from like the Brits tend to pronounce English words with like British pronunciation. So there might be words that you have, especially in India. Like I hear a lot of words that are pronounced in English words that are pronounced in India said with like a British pronunciation.
Schedule.
So when you come over here, an American is going to be like, that's not how you pronounce that, even though they're incorrect because it is how you pronounce it
because of English.
Just like not here.
Not here.
But there's nothing wrong with that pronunciation either.
Well,
like, I mean, aluminium still makes like
aluminum.
Right.
Aluminium. Alu. I hate that because it was always in my chemistry.
And like advertisement, I'm still.
How do you say it?
Advertisement. We say advertisement.
Advertisement.
And
advertisement.
I remember the first time I ever heard someone say that, I was like, "What did you just say? What is an
language is that?
Well, like what's an advertisement?" So I think that honestly, it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, again,
it's honestly at the end of the friggin' day.
The point is, it's not
doesn't matter.
It's not like, oh my god, this is wrong and this is right. Like if we're talking about something that is extremely wrong, in my opinion, is Scarlett Johansson being cast as a trans person.
Wow, nice segue.
I'm talking about like
seamless. It was a seamless.
My question is like
segue.
As you can see, I have opinions.
I know you've been like itching.
That is wrong. So
itching like, the whole time.
The reason we talked about English language before that was so just to show you that how flexible I am in terms of like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Like I'm not completely like, no, this is my opinion. I will stay here. Mm-hmm. This is wrong. No, okay, in English it makes sense in language. Uh-huh. But what I will stick to is her being cast as a trans.
It's not great.
See, trans. That's not the point. The point is her.
It's not great. The point is not her.
Anyone in Hollywood.
It is the trend of Hollywood continuing to cast
poop on people's identities, faces. It's like literal poop.
And here's the thing is like, as actors, and we are both actors, there is a fine line there. There is a fine line because as an actor, you're like, I need to put myself in a bunch of different
characters,
people and characters and all of these things. And like as an actor, you do want those opportunities, you want those challenges, but there's a fine line that I think people overstep sometimes, and when they think that something like race or identity can just be like thrown onto anybody, which it can't. And I know that like I remember Felicity Huffman did this movie like a Transamerica, like a while ago, and I personally at the time loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it, and I thought she did an amazing fucking job. I think she did beautiful work, and what a great opportunity as an actor to get into a role like that. However, if that movie came out now, knowing more what we know now, there would be a problem with that, because now we do have trans actors who are like, hey,
and successful shows and actors and like Oscar-winning films, like Fantastic Woman was like this year it won, and like Pose is right now going on
like
FX.
When the person is there who knows that role better than anybody, I think they get first shot.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's
Like then
the same with Ghost in the Shell. Like I also had issue, and the problem also is that like Scarlett Johansson's name keeps coming up
back.
in
Like,
this.
There's a trend. There's definitely, like someone was talking about, like if you're making a mistake over and over again, is like you just want to drive into the person this thing that, you know, I am right, you're not. No, it's the lack of sensitivity and the lack of awareness.
There's a lack of awareness happening.
And it's not like she's not aware of the people, her team, or people who, it's the same director, by the way, of her, Robin Tugg is the same director as Ghost in the Shell. Like, it's like you're not listening. And the worst thing is, like, if you have so much power and if you're not listening, then people, like, but then the second we don't listen to you, or you're like, I know that her reps are very angry and they're like, why don't you go ask Felicity Huffman's reps the same question? And then, like you said, this was like Transamerica was still a while back.
Yeah.
And
I forgot what year that was, but it was a while ago.
back. That was still during Desperate Housewives was still running.
Yes,
so that
yeah.
that Netflix wasn't even a
no
streaming thing.
It wasn't streaming.
Yeah. So what makes me angry is like you have the right to be all angry about it when we question you, but we don't have the same right to question you about these decisions, these choices. Like, I mean, I know someone who had an issue with a person of color, or like when Viola Davis played, in How to Get Away with Murder, like a lawyer. Like, oh, this could be anyone's story. Like, why her specifically? I was like, this is like still a story of a woman. Viola Davis is a woman. Scarlett Johansson is playing a trans person. Like, that's such a. I don't know. I get very serious and I just want to scratch myself until my skin peels off, and I'm just like,
okay, well, I don't know how to respond to that, but on a lighter note,
you are articulate. I'm just
what?
You're more articulate. I'm just saying things because I feel a lot about this topic, as you can tell.
I also have feelings.
Why Hollywood? Like, why? Yeah. Like, why?
Money.
But Pose is making so much money. It's on FX. There's so many shows that's making so much money right now. Like, I remember there was an argument that
Okay, we've gotten to a point in Hollywood, and I don't know if we were ever not at this point since its inception, but people don't like taking risks with money. Like, they just don't. They love doing a sure thing, and Scarlett Johansson has been a blockbuster actor for a while now, and with her, it is a sure thing that she will get people in the seats. That's why people continue to cast the same people over and over and over and over again, is that they're like, oh, because they liked them this time, that they'll come for this time and we'll get paid. And while I understand wanting to make money, absolutely, because who doesn't want to make money? I want to make money. Everybody wants to make money. Write a different
story. Get her in one of those Nicholas Sparks novels.
But there's also...
You're all the same women.
It comes a point where you were no longer trying to tell the best story, and I think that's what I've seen. And it doesn't matter anymore about like telling the best story in the best way. It's now about like, how can I put all these cogs and other clock-like things, because I can't think of one right now, together to make the most money. And
wait, I have to see how much Ghost in a Shell made.
And I don't know. I feel like the best way to tell people that we don't want that is by, not necessarily showing up to see it. Like, if you don't want to see it, like, I feel like that will give some execs the message. But on top of that, I also think that some of these bigwig execs kind of tell society what to think in a way. Media has so much influence on society.
Oh, yeah. Look at this. It did make a lot of money.
Yeah, of course it made a lot of money.
Guys, people with money.
They also have the international market as well. So I don't know how much it grossed domestically versus globally, but...
These are too many numbers.
These are too many numbers.
I have to see like how many Could you read?
Okay.
I don't know how to read.
All right.
I'm just stressed out. It just makes me sad. It just makes it. Now that's
Okay.
I don't even know the last Scarlett Johansson movie that I saw.
So domestic, it made 40 million,
Ghost in the Shell.
and foreign, it made 129 million.
Foreigners. What the hell, man?
Okay, well, I don't know. I don't know if we want to say that.
No, I'm talking about my Indian audience. I'm just like,
It's, it's. What was their budget? Okay, budget was 110 million.
oh, so domestically it did bad then.
Yeah, not the greatest.
So why are we doing this again then? If you do the math, 40 million versus
Because it's enough of a risk, but they still made their money back.
internationally.
Yeah, internationally. It's still enough of a risk that they know they're going to make their money back, if not more. The good thing, though, is when you have stuff like Black Panther that ridiculously exceed, like, what they were projected to make, or how people say, oh, we can't have a predominantly black cast because it's not going to make any money.
Yeah.
Well, they
Yeah,
just
they
showed
should-
you that that's wrong.
Well, why don't we just have Lupita play this character then? Might as well. I mean, Lupita seems to be getting a lot of butts on the seats, it seems to me. I'm just saying, then why is it Scarlett if you're getting a woman?
It could also just be the director. The directors like working with the same people. It was the same thing with Jennifer Lawrence and oh goodness, what is his
David
name?
Russell.
Thank you.
I mean, I understand, but Steve McQueen also wants to always. Steve McQueen? It's director of 12 Years a Slave.
12 Years a Slave, yeah.
He is obsessed with Michael Fassbender, but I'm pretty sure he has that much
is
of
he?
awareness. Yeah, because he in Hunger, and then which was the one in which Michael Fassbender was naked.
Shame. Did he direct Shame?
Oh yeah, these are all Steve McQueen. That he and like Michael
How
Fassbender
did I
are
not
like
know that?
Libra Aries.
Oh well, Libra and Aries.
But that way I understand, but then I'm pretty sure Steve McQueen has that much of like he's not as tone deaf or as blind to just cast Michael Fassbender in roles.
I mean, you assume that.
Yeah, I'd assume that, but I'm pretty sure he wouldn't. Like,
Right.
even like there was some backlash about like why was Michael Fassbender playing like that sudden plantation owner or whatever. But I was like, accent changes, it's fine by me. It's like then you can't have any Indian actor play an Indian just because he was born in America. Accent changes is fine. Like that much is like tweaks. Like, oh, I love working with Mike. I would rather work with a British actor. He's British, right? Or he's Irish. I would rather work with this Irish actor I have a relationship with.
Michael Fassbender?
Yeah, Steve,
Is he German or something?
half German, half Irish ancestry, something like that. Then work with an American actor. That much I understand because it's not like completely. It's still a white man playing this plantation owner. It's fine.
But there are a lot of people who disagree with that too.
Yeah, but it's not as morally wrong, I think. There's something about like the day and age we're living in. There's no one like Southern accent people have been oppressed for so long. They need to be given the identity or given the representation they so deserve. No.
Yeah,
we're talking about trans people.
But then we're talking, and then we're also, that's why I'm saying that it's such a fine line, because then you could also bring up what Samuel L. Jackson brought up that a lot of people did not like. Especially like John Boyega.
Yeah.
Like, how about that when he brought up Get Out, who I loved the actor in Get Out. But at the same time, you could understand where Samuel L. Jackson was coming from. Like, it's not like there is a lack of Black American actors.
Yeah.
It's not like there's a lack of them.
I mean, similarly, when I see Indian actors, like Indian American actors who are always playing Indian roles, like, in Slumdog, that it does it pinch a bit? Sure. And someone voicing it, I mean, I understand, but it's somehow still not as, like, I would have a debate about that. Like, that's something I can, like, still have a conversation with. Like, a British black actor should not play an American black, based on American black experience. But it's the thing about race.
I wouldn't call it the same as, like, playing a trans person.
Or like a different, like, there's especially about race, and especially because there's such paucity of roles as it is. As it is, there's such lack of those roles. And then if that's given to someone who is already getting so many roles. Like if Scarlett Johansson was out of work and the girl was like, hey, agent, hey, world, I am an actor. I'd love to work in her. Her voice was great. She can do those voiceovers. Yeah, she can play that robot. She can play because that robot is Siri, like whatever.
Siri-like.
And it's fine. We are fine with Siri being white. Whatever. That's fine. But in Ghost in the Shell, like that's such a fabulous Japanese, like character, and like imagine the doors that would have opened for an actress.
It would have been fantastic.
Like imagine Crazy Rich Asians. They were doing the movie. They were doing the movie version of Crazy Rich Asians, and they had like a black person.
Okay, that would be weird.
So this is how weird it is.
It would be weird, and just weird. Weird's the only word I have for it.
They're like, oh, we're also minorities. We should also get this. No, that's I'm
really looking forward to Crazy Rich Asians.
I am too. And so if someone who is also in the minority and gets a role in that film, that will be weird, and we will call them out on it, just as we will call out Hollywood on this.
Yes, I agree. That's why I'm saying it's a weird fine line. It's a weird fine line because an actor, you want to be able to stretch and to play all these different things, but they're,
Hey, Reese Witherspoon did that. She was saying the same thing. She's like, I was getting no roles, or I was getting the same roles. She started her own company, and she just like read a book, and she's like, you know what, I'm just gonna they have pretty much a lot of money to produce their own stuff if they want to really challenge themselves.
Yeah.
If it was like a new actor trying to then do an experimental theater. Test it out in New York. Just be like, how does this work? And New York audience will tell you honestly, it's not working or this is working.
Yeah.
Do it. Like imagine if the entire cast of Hamilton just made a movie version of Alexander Hamilton in which all the same cast.
Although I heard that people wanted that to happen. I think that would be very difficult to do in film.
Yeah, imagine Lin-Manuel Miranda, who does have a lot of money. I mean, because of his Tony win of.
Well done.
Yeah, but he will not suddenly wake up as like, you know what, I'm going to play Hamilton in a movie version. Like. Because theater is like one way of experimenting, and his was a different message. It wasn't like a biography movie. It's just like, it's a rap, it's a couple of things, and that's why it works. I don't think Scarlett Johansson woke up like, I want to stretch my acting talents.
Well, I don't think you can say that.
Or whatever. I mean, this is my face. It makes me like... the idea of Hollywood doing it again and again.
And again and again. That's the problem.
And not listening.
Enough is enough.
Like, even like I would call out a Kanye for doing it again. Like, making similar mistakes over and over again. Like, why is he always... Like, why doesn't he learn? Like, it's not like...
Okay, well, Kanye also opened up about, like, being bipolar.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Okay, sorry. That's not about... But, like, Kardashians... when they appropriate things.
Yes.
And it happens over and over again. That's something that I'm like, you've heard the backlash about it. You have a following. You say that you're listening, but are you? It's just that.
Again, to her defense.
Such a devil's advocate I have next
to her defense, I will say Kim Kardashian did say something this last time. Hey, I was equally annoyed about the braids. She did say this last time that her daughter... was getting braids too, and her daughter, who is black, was getting braids too, and wanted like her mom to match her. In that sense, I understand. It's a little kid.
Speaking of braids, did you see Zac Efron?
Who?
God, Zac Efron. That's
oh, dreads. I don't know. I'm not even talking about that.
Today I saw that.
I have nothing to say.
And he's like, just for fun's sake or something like that. He just said, "This is for fun."
Okay.
I'm just gonna do this gesture. Zach, if you're watching, LionFish Productions.
Because I'm sure he is.
Yeah, he should be.
But
no.
Yeah, I have no comment on that. Yeah. But when Kim Kardashian did say that, I was like, okay, well, I mean, I was equally annoyed when I saw her do it again. I was like, really, lady? Like, come on. But in that sense, like, I can
support a daughter.
understand. Yeah, that in that sense,
Who's
like, I can
Scarlett's
understand.
daughter? Who's Scarlett's Japanese daughter that she wants to support? I'm sorry.
That's a whole different story. Not
sorry,
the same thing.
I'm not letting it go. It just makes me, it blows. When I woke up and I saw my Twitter about that, I was like, no, this is a joke. Someone's just making it. Although Black Twitter is again funny. They went and they're like, oh yeah, next thing we know, Scarlett Johansson as Harriet Tubman, or they're like all these memes. I was like, yeah, she will
Good
make
job,
a
Black Twitter.
great Gandhi. I want Indian Twitter. It's like, let's just get her to play Gandhi.
You get Indian Twitter, like, get it started.
I don't know. I'm actually kind of scared of Indian Twitter. I don't even know if it exists. I mean, it does exist.
I'm sure it exists.
It exists. It's so political, and it just becomes like, it's hard being a woman online, yo. It's like you tweet one thing, I guarantee
People will come for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There will be one threat of some kind, and you're like, I don't know if this is when I tell my roommates or my boyfriend to protect me. Is this a threat enough?
I mean, it's yeah.
Threats are wrong. We do not encourage threatening. It's not encouraged ever.
I don't know why you would encourage threatening.
I don't know.
People.
Some people just be like, oh, this YouTuber, this person said this, and I read it as an encouragement. I just want to be clear.
Okay.
We're not encouraging. No one should ever.
Good. Great.
Shouldn't even follow anyone who remotely encourages any kind of threats. That's my spiel.
Was that it?
That's it.
Okay.
So I want to be clear, because people get influenced.
Yeah. Twitter has opened up a lot of hatred to be espoused at people. Especially what I've seen is a lot of Black and Jewish celebrities.
Yeah.
And that's kind of bullshit. And I mean it's bullshit. But you always knew that those people were out there, and I think...
No, Millie, what's her name? Bobby Brown, the actress?
Oh, yeah, Millie Bobby...
She had to remove her, She's a child. She had to remove her Twitter.
That was weird, though. I didn't understand what that was. Like, it was a meme. It was a joke meme that then just went viral.
And it wasn't the first time it happened with her. It was about something else in the beginning when the first Stranger Things came out.
I didn't understand what it was.
So she removed it, and then I don't understand why you have to do that to a kid. And it's
she is a kid, guys.
Just because she's famous, she's more successful than you, that does not mean that you have the right to harass her.
I think it originally started as just like a stupid funny meme, but I did not think it was funny. It was just a stupid meme, and I don't really know where it came from, but it just, it got out of hand, and so she left Twitter. Did she come back to Twitter?
I have no idea. I hope for her safety, for her mental health, I would tell her. Maybe I don't. And it's, especially I've seen for like young actresses, female actresses, especially the hatred and the vitriol. Vitriol, is that the way you pronounce it?
Sure.
Vitriol?
However you like.
Vitriol?
You do you.
Vitriol. It's not even a word. Vitriol. Okay. I have a dictionary.
I support your pronunciation.
I mean, hey, to repeat, English is not my first language. I love reading, and whatever I read, I say it out loud. Judge me. # don't care. Anyway.
Okay.
We will not go back to the English language and my issues with it. But
we probably will at some point.
Jesus Christ.
Go on.
The way they come at female actresses and young female actresses, like the way... Like, I actually really admire Emma Watson for coming out as like such a staunch feminist, and the way people bring her down. Like, I was like, and it's not just because she played her, like she was like, even J.K. Rowling was like kind of, like the way even people come behind after J.K. Rowling, but she's a grown woman, so they don't really say that.
Although her clapbacks are amazing.
There should be an episode in which we just read. Oh, sorry, I just kicked her mic because I get excited, J.K. Rowling. We should just read her tweets back and forth, like with the emojis attached.
Yeah, her tweets are amazing.
Yeah, even Emma Roberts, that the way people came at her when after that episode of
Roberts?
Julia Roberts' niece, and everyone's like,
she is.
I remember when that American Horror Story episode came out in which she had this horrifying scene of, men attacking her.
Oh, God,
you should see the way Twitter was like. That's when I just saw the most horrific side of humanity online. It was like, oh, she deserved it. She earned it. Okay, just so we clear, I know this is all fun and nice show. No one deserves it. Let me repeat, no one deserves it. No matter what your hatred is, you do not write that. You do not support that. You do
You're
not.
just encouraging people to write it. I hope you know that, right?
Fine. Well, if me telling them this is like angering them or whatever, I'm going to support, because we need people who tell those people that not cool. Because that's the thing, there's so many people just like sitting back. Like there were so many celebrities who didn't even like show up or be like, yo, like we
I don't remember when that happened.
This was American.
Did it happen while the show was airing?
While and after, like, you know, depending on, like, even because I saw that season long after, and I was just like, oh, the scene was, you know, kind of, and then I just saw there were like articles written about it, and then I saw there was an article about how people's tweets were so
really
horrifying about it. And I think it was, and then when the entire Me Too thing also came up, Me Too, then people were talking about how rape in general is like people don't grasp how horrific it is, and like there's such an attitude issue about like people being like, oh yeah, she totally deserved it, or like this person, yeah. And I'm like, wow. If it wasn't for Twitter, I would be like, everyone thinks like us. Like, oh, this is a wrong thing. It is wrong. Everyone believes this is wrong. Yay. And then I see Twitter and I see some tweets and I was like, these are actually human beings. Even though their names might be Pumpkin Spice Chai Latte or whatever the name is, but these are actual human beings. These are not like generated by machines. Specific. They are made people. Like, especially in fall, that's the name.
Some of them are.
I don't know. Anyway.
But like, yeah. I didn't know that happened. That's fucked.
It was so sad to watch.
I mean, I love that she flipped the bus. Sorry, spoilers.
I know that I was cheering. I was on my couch jumping.
And her character was such an asshole.
Yeah, like exactly. And I think that's what Ryan Murphy was also trying to make the point by. Is like,
oh yeah, just because her character's an asshole does not mean she deserves that at all. Yeah. Like, not at all. Yeah, her character was a brat.
Then Twitter comes after like young girls a lot. I've seen that's definitely. Speaking of trends overall, we started with our trends of beach trends going into Hollywood's crazy trends.
Is that the theme? Trends?
I think trends. Cool. And but Twitter is essentially like they have this trend of threats or threatening people or
yes, there are. Like, well, because people can still remain pretty anonymous.
Yeah.
That like you it's an outlet for pretty much anyone and their mom to say whatever the fuck they like and not have their
any
identity
repercussions,
being shown, or any kind of repercussions. Like, I think what I was so appalled with is that I would by no means call myself a gamer, but I do love video games and I like playing them, but there were so many women in the gaming community and in the designing community, like game designing community, that were being threatened purely because they were women. Being threatened. One designer was saying how like someone on Twitter like found her address and put her address up, and so they were going to come over and rape her. And I was just like,
not cool.
First of all, I don't understand how you get there. Like, how do you get from this woman is a game designer to, because she's a female game designer, I need to threaten her with rape? Like, I don't, like, how did we get from here to here?
I have no idea.
What was the thought process behind that? And just the amount of fragility and like insecurity that brings about that kind of behavior really concerns me.
I have a meme that I want to show you.
Like, really concerns me. And I also want to talk to your mother. Like, what? Like, no, what?
It's
or there was a woman who like called someone's mom, which I thought was awesome.
Audre Lorde says that the ultimate silence is like, you know, violence.
Right. Yeah.
That is the ultimate. Like there's so like they. Like the fact that, you know, women are also online and have opinions and talk about it, and then it's just that there are people who want to silence that, and that those threats are their only means. That's the only way they think that can. Because I would say, like, I've been at the receiving end of not as a grand a threat, but some kind of warnings or threats have been there, and I would say I stopped tweeting for. I mean, they did win their purpose of silencing me. And for me, of course, it's like safety is my number one concern, even though this threat was coming from across the 7 seas. But it's like we have this instinctive thing of protection, and we're like, okay, this is
Oh,
And, like,
I mean, obviously.
Dear white people.
Want to protect. Yeah.
Yeah, go to the first episode. Yeah, Dear White
Well
People,
done.
great season.
So good.
Did we talk
I
about
finally
that?
finished it. No, we haven't talked about it yet.
We should. That's another trend, and that should be a trend. That series should be.
Everyone should watch the show.
Show.
So good.
First episode, like, and you can connect how it goes hand.
Season.
Yeah.
I don't want to give away too much because the season is still pretty new.
I want to find that.
In terms of Kevin, like that was years ago. So guys, get on.
Yeah, come on. But that episode of her being on Twitter and like how.
Yeah, and the whole like Twitter troll, like all that stuff.
I want to show you this one meme, but you talk about Dear White People because there's two memes.
What would you like me to talk about?
It's just like how.
No, it was.
Yeah.
I honestly, I really don't want to say too much because I know this season is still pretty fresh and new. But they just by the end of the first episode, like you could tell they meant business this season, and it was so good. It was so good, and they did kind of try to cover the internet trolls and the Twitter trolls who come after you and threaten you and
like really hit the spots.
Yeah.
Like really hit like those vulnerable, horrifying spots. And like not just like be like, hey, but it's not even like hinted at. It's like directly aimed at hurting or silencing this person. And I think they did this beautifully in Dear White People. And I mean, the first episode, I remember you telling me when we had a meeting about, I think, our podcast. We were like, hey, let's set up mic like this. And I show up and Gabby's like silent. She's like not even like processing my face. I was like, hey, Gabby, I'm here. And I'm a presence.
That first episode wrecked me a little bit.
She was like, I just saw this episode. I don't want to talk. And then what do? We watch it again.
We watched it, yeah.
And then I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. We're all so do watch it. It was beautifully acted, beautifully shown.
Oh yeah, shout out to what's her name?
She's a Pisces. She does not. I don't know if that's.
I'm so bad with names.
My mom's really also Pisces. Bad. They are also bad at names. She always mispronounces. She just calls me babe.
I remember your name. I know your name, obviously.
You better know my name. No.
I mean, I call everyone in my life babe because, like, if you're in my life, you are my babe. Logan Browning. I mean, I didn't remember. I had to look it up.
Yep, you had to Google it. It's not as if you...
shout out to Logan Browning. What a beautiful job. Like, what...
And imagine
gorgeous work from the first episode. Like, the whole season, though. But, like, well done, boo.
Going back to our casting thing, imagine if a white girl was playing that role. Okay, will the story have an impact?
It wouldn't make any sense.
I know, but I'm just talking about if Netflix, like, we need to make money.
It would not be called Dear White People. It wouldn't make sense.
There's
that example
literally Ghost in the Shell. Ghost in the Shell is like such a popular game with such a popular face or race attached to it. They did that. So I'm just saying we exist in a universe where
Ghost in the Shell was a graphic
novel. Yeah, exactly. In the universe, it's like exists in such a place where it's like imagine, I mean, I can see that. Like Ramayana, which is like the Indian mythology, and like it's about an Indian god defeating an Indian demon. And then, as a child, there's no film version of it. And then I was born reading those stories in graphic novels or whatever different, like even there was like a animated movie about it. And imagine someone who's not Indian plays that role.
Yeah, it'd be ridiculous.
It would be, but we exist in a universe when that happens. So I'm just thinking, like, Dear White People, and if that role was played by someone who's non-black, the story would not have an impact at all. Like when
also wouldn't make any sense.
I know, but I'm just saying, if that like episode, imagine like a girl who's, I'm not even talking about white, anyone who's like non-black reads that tweet because that tweet was so specific about black identity, like. As story-wise, it would not make sense. It would not have that impact. So the purpose of it would be completely miserable or failed. So similarly with the rub and tug, when you're talking about a trans person's experience, and so I'm just thinking as like a trans person who watches that movies, like this does nothing to me. It has no impact or meaning. Doesn't make any sense. Am I making any sense, or am I just being angry? It's okay to be angry. Anger.
A little bit of both.
LionFish Productions, guys. I am the Leo here, if you didn't notice. And
lots of. So So we're actually at time today, guys, but I really do want to talk about Dear White People more. We'll talk about that more later.
But until then, you have time to watch all the episodes.
Yes, everyone watch Dear White People because it is such a beautiful show.
Don't tell us we didn't warn you.
The entire cast is so damn good. Like, that whole cast, the entire ensemble is amazing.
It's renewed for season 3.
Yes, which I'm so happy about. And not only are, like, the men good, but, like, the women in this show are incredible. And I just think everyone, it's such a good show. And I think everyone should give it a chance.
Kudos to the creators, directors of every episode, every actor, everyone, even like a PA on that show. Great job.
Yeah,
we
well
are
done,
here
everybody.
for you. You're creating great stuff, and we are always excited to see your content. Continue producing awesome stuff.
And we'll definitely talk about it later.
So watch those episodes. Please.
All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend and
go to the beach. Don't listen to my opinions.
And go to the beach.
Do you?
All right.
Bye, guys. Live from New York City. This is LionFish Production.
LionFish out.
Bye. It's LionFish Podcast. I said production.
That's okay.
Okay. It's a production. Because we're producing content.
Oh, I love this podcast.